Well, greetings from the kitchen. Very, very windy out there today. Still, it's a nice day. Makes a change. Autumn leaves flying around everywhere, and the little windmills in the garden are going berserk. And so are the upstairs neighbours. Apparently, a load of water came in right above their bedroom and rather put a damper on things, shall I say. Yes. Yes, what a complete twat our landlord is. Well, I'm doing something today I haven't done for... Crikey, well, I can't remember really. Probably the last time I did this would have been when I was still in full-time education. And that is a long time ago. Back in the days when you used to find 8-tracks are still in use in cars. Now, what I'm doing today is transferring 8-track cartridges onto cassette tape. And I've got here a huge, heavy old 8-track recorder made by Akai, who were more noted for their very swish reel-to-reel recorders, really. And they came up with this 8-track player thing and recorder too. This one has AC bias recording, as you'd expect from a firm like Akai, and I don't know whether it still records. It plays back beautifully. 2 VU meters on there give you the signal strength. These controls here were for the recording volume, and there's a red bulb lights up when you're recording. It is a bulb, it's not an LED, by the way. And then you've got your basic controls. Notice the lack of a fast rewind on here. There's no rewind. That's because the mechanical design of the cartridges meant that you couldn't have a rewind. It was just the way it was laid out within. It made it technically impossible to do. And you've got your track selectors here. You see the light is on, so we're playing channel 2. Program selector button there selects the track with a nice satisfying ka-chunk when you press it in. And there's a headphone socket on this one, which is quite handy, but no means of varying the output at all. It's either, all or nothing. And on the back of it, you've got a voltage selector switch. You can run it on various different line voltages. There's a fuse in there, inside that little screw top switch, to change over from 50 to 60 cycles a second. And then the line input, presumably that's for standard size microphone jacks, 1/4-inch things. And then you've got 2 sets of RCA plugs for in and out, as well as the usual 5-pin plug, the DIN plug for Europe. And that's what's connected to the old N2407 here. It's a good machine to do this with because it has a built-in amplifier, so you can monitor what's coming out. And again, 2 big swinging VU meters there. Variable record controls, of course, treble, bass, 2 volumes. This is designed for use either with 2 separate mics, which go into these DIN plugs here, or with a stereo mic that goes into that one. And when it's not in use, you shut that up to keep the dust out. A nice piece of design. If anything, probably the Philips is a tiny bit older than the Akai, I should think. It's coming out through some suitably ancient vintage Philips speakers, which are 2-way. There's a 6-inch woofer and a tweeter in here. They ought really, being as posh as they are, to have the Philips High Fidelity International logo on there, but they're probably just a tiny bit too old for that. Ah dear, that damp weather's playing havoc with my chest. But the Akai was made with a built-in amplifier as well, by the way, and though I think it only had a tone control, didn't have bass and treble. That would have been the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? But the one I have here was obviously made for a sort of hi-fi separate system, if you will. And I'm fairly sure I've seen somewhere on YouTube an Akai reel-to-reel that does both 8-track and cassette as well. For heaven's sakes, the ultimate all-in-one. Years ago I had a music centre that was like that. It's made by Binatone, who are now mostly known for making telephones. But they did make audio equipment. There was a tower system almost identical to the Amstrad system I've got. The only difference that I could tell was the name and the colour of the wood. Oh dear, most of these things are now long gone, including my music centre. Trouble was, it was a brilliant idea, and the 8-track on there